Welcome to the Prince George Life podcast. We live, work, and love Prince George. In this episode, we're going to share with you why we love Prince George. We're also going to share our favorite things and a few memories about growing up in this great northern city. How is everybody doing on this relatively cold morning?
You know what? My computer says it's cold outside. Like it just... Right now it says sunny, but earlier it was like, it's cold. That's enough. I'll stay inside. Thank you.
Yeah. Like I posted today on our social media channel that it's that time of year where it's like, if I go home, I'm not going back out again.
I feel that.
Yeah. Anyways,
Definitely.
So this is episode 1 of the brand new Prince George Life podcast, and we are here with our team, which is the One Oak Real Estate Group, and we just thought that we, do a podcast because, you know what, we love working and living in Prince George, and we want to share that with everybody. And, along the way, we're going to have a few guests come on, and we're going to talk about their perspective of Prince George and the things that they love and all that kind of good stuff. And first, in this episode, I thought we'd just, have a conversation with the team and introduce all of us to our audience. So, Cherie,
yeah,
you're on my screen. You're like the first person up there, so I'm going to pick on you to go first. Do you want to introduce yourself?
All right. So my name is Cherie Burkholder. I have lived in Prince George for the vast majority of my life. I believe that my family moved here in 92. And I moved away from 2009 to about 2014, maybe 2010 to 2015, somewhere in there.
Where did your family move from?
Originally, I was born in Ontario, and
come on, whereabouts? What city?
I was born in Brampton.
Brampton, Ontario.
Yes,
okay.
Which I went back a couple of years. I know. So that's where my dad was from. And
Gotcha.
My dad actually moved as far away as he possibly could when he was younger. And so he moved to the Okanagan, which is where he met my mom. And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't know what brought them back to Ontario. But we were there for, I think it was work, brought them there. So that's where I was born. And then, eventually work brought him back to BC and then to Prince George, and here I am.
Perfect. That's a great little intro. We'll get into some more specific and fun questions later. But next up, Jessica, who is the youngest member of the One Oak Real Estate Group. I was thinking about this actually the other day, that we basically have every decade.
We sure
like
do.
Me, I'm going to out myself. Wow. 70s. Bailey, my wife, 80s. Cherie. Cherie's a bit of a mystery. She won't tell us how old she is. I'm going to...
1975. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm just gonna say that Cherie's probably in her 30s. I'm guessing, and then we have Jessica in her 20s. So we basically have every generation, I hope, or every decade, covered.
We got it covered.
Yeah. I'm the old guy. So, anyways, Jessica, I'm stealing your thunder. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was born and raised in Prince George. I've never left, despite wanting to sometimes, but my whole family's here, so I won't leave. I don't think I'll ever leave.
Yeah, it makes it really hard. Myself growing up, I was like that as well. Like in high school, I was like, okay, I'm going to move, and I'm going to move to a big city, and I did, and I just came back.
I feel like that's everyone's dream when they're in high school. They're like, first chance I get, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. And then you realize that the world is a lonely place. When you don't have your mates and your family with you and stuff like that, it's kind of sucks that way. So,
and you know what? My sister moved away twice, and she came back both times. So that shows Prince should not leave.
Prince George is a black hole, and every time someone says that they're leaving and they're never coming back, I'm like, you will be. It's a black hole, and you will come back. There's so much to draw you back.
I think calling it a black hole is incorrect because it makes it sound like it's like a bad place. I think it's a glorious white, very nice hole of light that just brings us all back here.
Is this heaven?
Life is good. I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to go down that rabbit hole?
That's a topic we shouldn't go into.
I fully agree. Excellent. So, besides your family, why did you never leave, Jess?
I was in school and then I started working right away.
Yeah.
I don't think I gave myself the opportunity to leave.
Yeah. What do you
And of
enjoy
course,
about
Matt's
Prince
here
George?
and has a good job.
And who is Matt, for those listening?
Oh, Matt is my fiance now.
Yes! That's the first time that I... Yes! Oh, you know what? You know what I have to do? Oh, we're going to just... Hold on a sec. We're going to put on the clapping.
Oh.
That clapping's for you, Jess.
Thank
Why
you.
we're having a good laugh, and that's actually the first time I've heard her introduce Matt as her fiance, because guess who just got engaged a couple weeks ago? It's Jessica.
That's me.
Yeah, I feel like a proud parent or something.
Oh.
Young love.
It is so awesome. Okay, last but not least, Bailey.
Hello.
There she is. Is that all you're going to give us? Tell our audience a little bit about ourselves. And I sort of feel like our audience kind of knows you and me already because we've both had podcasts and we've both been out there. But let's do it. We're charting new courses here and bringing on some new audience members.
So I was also born and raised in Prince George, and I have an interior design business. I used to own a furniture store, and now I'm a real estate agent.
And what was that furniture store named?
Theory Hardware.
Excellent. And you also have your real estate license.
I do, yeah. I got it about 2 years ago.
Yeah. And so Bailey kind of helps us out a lot with vision and getting homes ready to sell and, opportunities and things like that, and really helps in the marketing of them, of the staging of the places. And wonderful and so incredibly knowledgeable about construction. It's crazy. If you want to know about projects, renos, anything like that, talk to Bailey. I'm always surprised. Like, Bailey will be like, okay, this is going to cost this much money. And I'm like, okay, yeah. When the quotes come in, the final bill comes in, literally Bailey is usually within $100 of what the final. It's incredible. And, I think with all your brothers and sisters, you're all very good at math and having the brain. We always call it the Tobin brain trap, where they remember everything, every detail. And Bailey makes up for me not being detail orientated. I'm a big picture, kind of guy. So that is awesome. I guess I should tell a little bit about myself. I don't know. I always feel that people know me already. I used to have the Prince George podcast and did that until some other people copied me and started doing the exact same podcast as me.
Whoa, Colin, don't go down that road.
So we're mixing it up and we're going to do something else. Not going down that road. Anyways, I was born in Vancouver, moved up here in 1972 in the dead of winter in January. And do I remember that? No. But I loved growing up in Prince George. It has afforded me to do so much more than if I grew up back in Vancouver, with the high cost of living, as well as the amount of people and commuting and all that kind of stuff. some of my favorite memories of growing up here, and I was thinking about this today, is kind of like the summer and the winter. I can remember just absolute glorious hot summers, being able to play in the parks, and there's a ton of parks here. And then in the winter time, we lived in the Seymour subdivision, kind of right, like a 1-minute walk to Carney Hill. And I don't know. I wish I had $1 for every time I went down and up that hill in my toboggan. Literally all winter. Didn't matter. -40, I'm just putting on an extra toque and an extra layer, and me and my mates would go up and down Carney Hill. And those of you who aren't from Prince George, it's a really big sledding hill, and it's awesome. So those are some of my favorite memories. How about you three?
You know what, Colin? I have actually never sled down that hill.
Either have I. I haven't ever either.
No. Nope. But actually, on the weekend, I took the boys sledding because it was so mild and just beautiful.
Yeah.
So we went sledding, and we went to College Heights Secondary, because that's where I used to go sledding when I was a kid. And I was saying to the boys, they were like, "Oh, did you come here all the time when you were young?" And I said, "Actually, I lived right there. Like, our backyard touched on to the high school."
Yeah.
So I was there all the time, and I remember being, I don't know, I think I was still in elementary school, and we had been out for so long that we were freezing. And we were pulling our sleds back, and I fell down in the driveway. I looked at my brother, and I'm like, "Help." I was just frozen because we were there at the park for so long.
And we don't get winters like that anymore, do we?
We still get that like minus
bit.
40 for like a short period.
Yeah, it's not like when I grew up, I can remember all of January was frozen, -40 for the whole month.
Yeah.
And we'd get a big dump of snow and stuff like that. And we just don't see that anymore. Jessica and Bailey, some favorite, whether it's winter, summer, whatever, favorite memories of growing up here.
I think in the winter to do with sledding. Across from where I grew up, there was a huge hill on the neighbor's house. Mm-hmm. And so we would go sledding there, me and my best friend, and then come home to homemade cookies and hot chocolate. Yes. And it was the best. And I wish it was still like that.
I think that's, it's certainly one of the tragedies of life is growing up.
Yeah.
I think Cherie and I were talking about this yesterday when we were shooting a video about how awesome everything was when you're growing up, and then as you grow up and become an adult and all the things that get piled on you and the formation of the way you're thinking and stuff like that, it gets a little sad sometimes, and wishing that you could do that, wishing you could still go tobogganing is, yeah.
Oh, I do. When we go out tobogganing, we bring all of the toboggans. I go down too. I'm not the parent that stands on the sidelines. Yeah.
Excellent. Bailey, favorite memory growing up in Prince George?
One of my biggest memories is that we used to own a jewelry store downtown, and I used to, from a very young age, I'd say probably about 4 to 5 years old, I used to go down there on Saturdays, and I would work at the jewelry store. But really what I would do is Rogers Meats was next door. I'd get Landjägers and meat pies. And then the Killian was down the street, and I'd go there. So basically, I'd come to work, but I would eat, and then I would always take a piece of jewelry home with me. So it was a great way to spend my Saturday.
I'm almost making mad profits.
I have a lot of jewelry that has bees on it, like earrings and necklaces and rings and different things. So, yeah.
And so whenever I go to like a deli to pick up deli stuff, I always bring home Landjäger.
But I'm very fussy on the Landjäger quality, though.
It has to be soft. I find some are a little hard.
Or they could taste a little plasticky.
Yeah, and for those that don't, and we're probably completely bastardizing the name, but those of you who don't know what it is, it's kind of like, I guess, a German pepperoni stick. Smoked meat in stick form.
And I'd say it's a little bit more fatty than a pepperoni stick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, way more fat in them.
It is not lean.
But the harder ones are less fatty, I find.
No, the harder
Probably.
ones, yeah, they're more chewy though.
They are.
They're more like fake. I don't know. I'm very fussy on my Landjäger.
That's awesome. Now, with the three of you, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh.
I always thought I'd be a lawyer because I have a very inquisitive mind, and I'm in the details, and I need to know every detail. So that's what I always thought I'd be.
And being married to you, I can see you being a trial lawyer because you love to argue.
And I love to win.
That she does.
I think I witnessed that earlier today.
Earlier today, when having headphone malfunctions.
Technical problems today. Yep.
Yeah,
I can
Jessica.
still only hear out of one ear, but we're here. We're functioning.
We're going to be okay. Jessica, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, when I was 5 at our kindergarten graduation, I told everybody that I want to be a pancake maker because I grew up making pancakes with my grandma and I loved it. I thought I'd do that for my life. And then...
So this is a great memory, see? Making pancakes with your grandmother, a fantastic memory. So you thought
I knew all the ingredients at 4. Yeah. And I think then, I don't know what age I was, we went to Mexico, and after that we saw the dolphins, so I thought I'd be a marine biologist. And then I went to thought I'd be a vet, but I couldn't do the hard stuff, so...
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I would like to speak for the team on this one. How come we've never had pancakes made by you?
Yeah.
I'm feeling...
Very less.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like when we move into the new office, the first meal that's going to be cooked for us is pancakes by Jessica.
Oh, I can't even wait.
I
I
know.
hope you don't put chocolate chips in them, though.
Blueberries.
Yeah.
Do blueberries.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Chocolate chips, no go.
No.
Now, what are the things that should go in a pancake then? Do we have, no chocolate chips, but fruit is okay?
You know what? I would actually prefer just a regular pancake, but then put the fruit on top.
Okay,
That's
whipped
what
cream,
I
no
like
whipped cream.
blueberries in it.
Yeah.
But do you guys remember when you were a kid, and maybe this is only me, I know there's the money cake, right? They used to wrap up money in your birthday cake, but we also got that in our pancakes on your birthday.
What?
So you didn't know what pancake had the money in it. Like, how dirty is that money? And then think about your kid's going to choke on, the penny, the dime, the nickel, but we put money into pancakes or cakes. Like, could you imagine doing that now in a birthday cake with your kid's class over? You'd probably be sued.
I know. And I have to admit that we had money cake on our birthdays.
And it was the best thing. Like, it was the best thing. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Did you
And
not, Colin?
It was awesome, and it was a quarter. I'm trying to remember, did we... I guess you wrap them up in...
My mom wrapped them up in wax paper.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
They were
I
in
think
wax paper.
my mom did as well. And then you get a cut, and then you get... you're super pumped about, a quarter.
I did not get money in my cakes. So
you've been missing out.
I now have something to bring up with my parents. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
This year.
Okay, so when we move into our new office, which we're moving the One Oak Real Estate Group into a new office, Jessica is making money pancakes.
I'm not eating
money pancakes.
$2 each one. No, I'm just going for the $2. I don't care about eating the pancake.
I care about eating the pancake. I love food.
No, I do too. And I may, still do that. So, Cherie, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I'm a lot like Jess. My career path changed a lot. I wanted to be a princess for a very long time, and I became that for myself.
You are right now.
So, but I would say I actually probably wanted to be an elementary school teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I found out how much they make. And I was like, that's a long time to go to school for. Not a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah, but I think it can be quite rewarding
Absolutely.
for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
and they do, love our teachers, and they do some really, really great work. And I think it's one of those things where you have to be really into it and not look at the money and not look at those things.
100%. So when I was looking at it, it was there was a lot of teachers were on strike a lot, and there was a lot of negative talk around teachers. And I was like, they have such a hard job, and I feel like they just didn't get any respect. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, there was a lot of things. I was like, maybe that isn't the right career path.
And so you got into real estate. Certainly a lot of respect for realtors.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nobody ever talks bad about realtors.
Well, I was a real estate baby.
Yeah, well, your mom.
Yeah, my mom was a realtor, and so I grew up in real estate, and it was something like right off the bat. I wanted to do interior design. Like I always had something around real estate and design, and it was always in my life, and I'm not surprised this is where I'm at. Is anyone else surprised that this is where they're at?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, really? Okay.
Absolutely. I wanted.
What
to
did
be
you
a
think you were going to be?
I wanted to be a Jedi.
I knew you were
I
going to
knew
say
those
that.
were the words. Yeah.
I knew that.
Well, all three of you know me so well.
What did we discuss yesterday? You're a geek, right?
He's a big nerd.
Yeah.
No, not a nerd, because I'm not socially awkward. That's the difference.
About that one. You don't like to go to social settings. It's like pulling teeth to get you out.
But that's just the introvert. That's not socially awkward. He can talk.
Yes,
Yes.
I guess that's true, Jessica. Jessica has a good point. I've been corrected.
I know. Jessica's my backup on that, because in our team dynamic, myself and Jessica are the introverts, and Cherie and Haley are the extroverts. So we balance everybody out. So yeah, I wanted to be a Jedi. I still want to be a Jedi.
It's not happening.
Follow your dreams.
I know, follow my dreams. In my head, I am
Bailey.
one.
Yeah.
I know. I drive Bailey nuts because I love Star Wars. I was there, opening day, 1977. Parents took me there. Wow. It cooked my noodle. I couldn't believe it. My mind was like, I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Star Wars. It's amazing. And back then, you didn't have sequels, and you didn't have sequels to sequels. And then the second one came out.
That's
Empire
one with
Strikes
Ewoks,
Back?
right?
No, that's the third one, Bailey.
Oh,
Or
that's the only one I like.
episode 6.
Oh my gosh.
I want the Ewok. That's all I want. That's all I'm out here for.
I know, they are so stinking cute. I
They're
just
so
want to cuddle
cute.
them. But even though they're probably like the most like BA character on the show, they
Yeah.
are brutal. But they are so cute. I just want to cuddle them.
You on this podcast, you can say badass.
Did you notice? I was like, don't say it.
I know. Feel free to swear.
They're
Feel free.
children.
I don't think badass is really a swear word, though.
The ass word is bad.
Is it?
Can't say that.
How
Yeah.
many times are we going
That's a donkey. I know. We should bring it up. We should talk about it.
You should
have the
talk.
coffee.
Colin,
Bad
you should,
donkey.
you should talk that way around our puppy.
Yeah. Okay. What's the worst food you've ever eaten?
Oh, gosh.
And go.
Oh, I have one. I'm so sorry to my mom. She knows this. My brother and I bring it up all of the time. All of the time. My mom used to make this meal, and God, I don't know what she thought when she made it. But she would take a hot dog and she would butterfly it, and then she would pat it into some brown sugar and
Ooh.
fry it.
What is that?
So to this
Okay.
day, my brother and I both can't do sweet meat. I'll pass. I'm good. No.
Was that like a dinner thing, or what was that?
It was a
snack?
dinner thing. It was a
I am a big believer.
I don't
I'm a
even know.
Big believer in meat in tube form, but That sounds disgusting.
It was. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, Bailey will tell you.
No.
I'll eat anything. Like anything. Literally anything.
No.
Okay,
Nope.
The worst thing, I know what Bailey's going to say. The worst thing that I have ever eaten, and it's a Japanese cuisine, is fermented soybean paste or something like that.
Ooh.
I went to a sushi restaurant with a Japanese person, and they ordered, and this is, I think it's a delicacy or something like that. I can eat off pretty much anything. I thought that I was going to throw up.
Wow.
It was so bad. Like, it smelled like death, and it tasted like the 9th level of hell.
Wow.
Wow.
A lot of levels.
Wow.
Hey, if you haven't read Dante's Inferno, you'll understand. Okay.
You know what? I also hate stroganoff, and it feels really weird to say that because I
Beef
know.
stroganoff?
Yeah,
I like stroganoff.
cannot stand it. And
Okay.
it's something I've even tried to make on my own. I've had it out. I've had it at friends' house. Like, I despise it. I will go hungry without and just be fine with that if I never have to eat beef stroganoff.
Okay, I'm going to make that for you sometime, and then I'll change your mind.
You're a professional chef, so I would try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I was.
Was.
Clarify that was.
Yeah, was.
I haven't cooked forever. Anyways, I know Bailey is dying to tell you guys about hers.
I'm excited.
I know.
I feel like Bailey's a picky food person.
She's
Well,
actually...
I'm not.
Really?
She's not. And we're really... That's really... When we go on vacation, we don't go to places to see sights and, look around. We go there to eat.
Yes.
And we do
I'll
it
eat-
well.
I will eat anything at least once just to try it, and I love food. So I would say I'm not fussy at all. Hey, Colin? For
No,
food?
not at all. Surprisingly.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That is.
But I did one time. We were on a plant-based kick, and I made a tofu creme brulee.
Ew.
And it was a dinner party, and I was so excited. And you know what? Tofu cannot replace cream and eggs. Let's just talk about it for a minute. Not a creme brulee. And everybody took a bite, and I was like, I couldn't swallow it. And I was like, I spit it out in my plate, and I said, everybody can spit it out. And they were like, thank God. And they just... That tofu creme brulee will haunt me for the rest of my life. and I think I'm a really good cook, but you can't substitute something. I'm just saying.
I love you, but it was so bad.
It was so bad. But it was a good laugh because we were laughing so hard over it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So if you ever find that recipe, don't do it. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
It was one of those ones where you take a bite and we're all looking at each other, and it was one of my best mates there, and we're all looking at each other going, who's gonna say it? Who's gonna say it?
I know, it was more like who's going to swallow it, too. Nobody wanted to, actually choke it back. The texture, the taste, everything about it was horrific.
Yeah. Yep, that was good. Yep. Jessica, worst food you've ever eaten?
I've been trying to think about this, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that I won't eat because...
You're a very fussy eater.
So on
It's
our
funny
team,
because I'm not,
Jessica's that
actually.
one.
I'm not picky. I just don't like certain things. I'll try things.
What
So you
what
are
don't you
picky.
like?
No. Oh, I don't like stinky cheese.
You're missing out on the best things in life.
I cannot see. I can understand that. Like, I can understand where some people, but I love stinky cheese. Actually, I love all cheese. Cheese
Jess,
is
have you-
my personal vice.
Jess, have you tried the cheese or have you just smelt the cheese?
No, my dad always had it, and I tried it, and I actually don't like cheese like that much.
Yeah, you're
Oh
weird.
my goodness!
Whoa.
I like Gouda, and that's it.
And you don't
What?
like butter? She thinks butter's disgusting.
I don't like butter.
Yeah, I was shocked
Butter
to
is
find
gross.
that out.
I
Butter
didn't
is-
grow up with dairy, so
You know, maybe
I'm
you're
shaking my
lactose
head.
intolerant.
I am.
Maybe that's why you don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Three things.
I
think-
can't eat cottage cheese, like, in a bowl. I don't know how people do it, because the texture
I like
weirds
it.
me out. Creeps me out.
And you don't like beef.
I don't like beef. No, I'll eat it
Yeah.
if it's made in a lasagna or something. I don't like it. It's too rich.
So you won't eat a hamburger.
I don't eat burgers, no.
That's insane. I've been trying to think of this. If I was on an island and I could only eat one thing for the rest of my life, and, I wouldn't have health problems, wouldn't get fat or whatever, I would be hard-pressed not to choose a hamburger and fries.
Oh.
I love, like, a well-made hamburger and fries. That's one of the best things on earth, I think. I
Wow.
love it.
Have you ever put the fries on the hamburger?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I always
Matt
see people
does
do it, and I'm like, can I do that?
No.
Yeah. Crazy. Okay, last round of questions here. If you could meet anyone, past, present, future, who would you meet?
Ooh, I know this one.
Okay, go, Bailey.
For me, it would be Oprah. I grew up on Oprah, and I would watch her every single day, and I would love to meet her. So that would definitely be mine. She's like my childhood star, and she's still an amazing person doing great work.
Cherie.
I'm not sure. I'm going to say you loop back to me because I'm not sure on this one.
Yeah, I asked the question, and now I'm thinking in my head,
Who would I want
You know?
to meet?
Jessica.
I have no idea.
You guys,
Come on, you guys are so lame.
the first thing that popped into my brain was Oprah. Like, come on, you guys must
You know
have
what?
somebody.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I would, and it's, I try to, live my life and not have any disappointments or anything like that. But I would love to meet Prince and go to a Prince concert. It's one of those things where I
Wow.
kick myself on a daily basis because, I think he is one of the most incredibly talented musicians ever. I think he ranks up there. And I'm like, I had several opportunities to go and see him, but I just never pulled the plug, and went. And it's one of those things that I kick myself every day that, and you always do these things in hindsight, right? Where the person passes away and you're like, I didn't take the opportunity when I had it. And now you just have regret. So that's one of the ones, I would love. His music is fantastic. And, being a child, growing up in the 80s as a teenager, pretty prolific. So, yeah. Cherie, you got something?
Okay, I'm taking a different route with mine because I'm someone who likes answers. Okay.
Nice.
So I am going to go with I would want to meet the person who wrote the original Bible.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
And you may be asking
left
why. But there is so much love and hate revolved around religion. Wouldn't it be nice to go back and be like, okay, people look at these Bibles, whatever denomination of religion you're in and the book that they have, did that person just make this up? Or were they there for something?
Okay.
Yeah.
That is something that I'm not going to open up. I'm keeping my mouth
No.
shut. That's a touchy subject.
Touchy.
Yep. We won't go there. But very interesting.
I'm an answers person, right? Like I like black and white. Like we've talked about, I'm a very black and white person. I don't have a lot of gray zones. So like I like to know things and I like to have answers to things and I like to have truths of things and
seeking the truth.
seeking the truth.
Do you got one for us, Jess? You've had plenty of time to think.
You know what? I don't have okay, so the only thing I can think is like my granddad passed away when I was 7 and he lived in Ontario and I didn't really get to know him and I would have loved to get to know him. And I think I have that approach on my answer because I grew up with internet. So I grew up researching. I feel like I can search things, I could find it. Like the answers I'm looking for versus if you grew up without internet, you have a lot more, I don't know. I think I'd have a different answer.
Yeah, that is a very, like our phones these days have the collective knowledge. We can get the collective knowledge right here of the human race. Like, you can literally look up and do some poking around, whether it's truth or not truth, on anything that has ever happened. And each of our generations not having, like, we didn't have the internet growing up. We didn't have cell phones. I can remember seeing the first website address and going, what is that?
So long.
Well, and
He's really dating himself.
I am, but that's okay. I embrace it. I've had an amazing life so far, so I'm really, really lucky in that respect. Not everybody gets to turn my age. So, anyways, anything else you three want to add before we wind this podcast up? And I hope everybody listening sort of fell into this conversation and got to know us a little bit more, and we'll tune in next time. And we're going to bring some guests on, and we're going to have some fun things and some, trivia things, and we're going to talk about, all things Prince George, whether they're good, they're bad, or they're ugly, which is what spring is here in Prince
I feel like this is the Western. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, it's our own Yellowstone here. It's kind of modern
Without
day
the
Western.
murders.
Yeah. We'll try to keep
us all alive.
So,
Yeah.
Or the country music.
Or the country music. Yeah. Touchy subject. Should we talk about that?
Jess and I sometimes listen to country.
Jess knows it's banned if I'm in the office.
I don't
But me
know
and Carrie
that.
like to put it on.
And then I'm like, what? What is this?
Yeah.
And I want to know who put it on.
Yeah. I don't understand country music myself.
I don't get it either.
But know what? There's people that do like it. And my father the other day said he likes the beat.
Which blows my mind because your parents don't listen to any music, ever. They'll drive from Seashell to Prince George, dead silence. But he likes country music beat. Things I'm learning.
Wow.
And I was like, how are you my father? 'Cause
I
don't
was really
like country
surprised
music.
that they didn't listen to music. I expected them to listen to like gospel music.
No, they listen to nothing.
Yeah. I couldn't
I
do
don't
it.
know.
I love music.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too. Music, like, behind me, I have a massive record collection. I have a massive CD collection, and all my life, like, I would literally spend all my money on buying music when I was a teenager and, 20s and whatnot. And then the internet came around.
Time to get rid of the CDs, Colin.
We could get it all for
go.
free. So,
That was me. I didn't have to buy
exactly.
stuff.
Exactly. You have never known the joy of going into a record store and buying a record and finding the one that you're actually after. Like, I have some bootlegs of things, and going into a store and finding a rare vinyl, it's nothing better. The same with books. I used to love bookstores. I could spend the whole day
I
in
love
a bookstore.
bookstores still.
Yeah.
Me too.
I love
I can't
books.
bring myself to read on a tablet because there's something about the tangible book that I'm just like, oh.
Yeah,
I know.
holding a tangible book
Yeah.
and the smell of it, but
Oh my gosh.
both Bailey and I have Kindles.
Do you want to
Used
know what's so
bookstore?
funny? If I read a book now, my fingers hurt from the weight of the book. It hurts.
Wow.
Because
Bailey's
I'm like
Bailey's
a
not
massive
soft.
reader. But I'm a massive reader, so I need a
Massive.
new book. Like, within every couple days, I have to start a new book.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many books did you read last January, Bailey?
Last January, I think I read 20-something books.
You read 23 books in January.
23 books in January.
Is this when you guys were away?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Oh my
that's
goodness.
a pretty average for me. Like, I I don't watch, like Colin will tell you, he's like, you want to watch an hour of TV tonight? I'm like, no, I'd rather read a book.
Unless it's
Anytime.
The Crown.
Yeah.
Then Bailey's totally in.
Yeah, but I'm very selective on my TV versus a book.
I like noise, so sometimes I'll even put on the TV and I'll just walk away from it, and it's just like noise in the background.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I live for
I need
it.
it to be...
I always
never
put
am in
music on.
If Colin will come out sometimes to go to bed, and I'll be like, shh, it's quiet time. Can't talk to me.
Yep.
That's
Quiet
what I
time.
say to my kids.
Yeah.
It's quiet time.
There we
I
go.
literally talk all day from the time I get up till the time I go lay in my bed. I do not stop talking on the phone. Mm-hmm. So
We can all attest to that.
Yes.
yeah, I spend my whole day on the phone.
Awesome. Anyways, I will wind this up. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation. You got to know us a little bit better. Now, if you like this episode, please don't hesitate to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you're thinking of buying or selling real estate, this is shameless plug, by the way. If you're thinking of buying or selling real estate here in Prince George, we would love to put our skills of our team to work for you. Give us a call. We would, or visit our website, which is oneoakgroup.ca. I almost blew that. Oneoakgroup.ca. Awesome. And we will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.